Crystal Palace were busy in the transfer window, probably one of the busiest teams. What do you think of your purchases, Mark?
I think like it's players where we need them. That's the main part about it. It's a lot of money though, a lot of money, and hopefully, like the three players in Strand Larsen, Guessand from Aston Villa, and Brennan Johnson from Tottenham come in and do the business for us, because exactly what we need right now is have all three of them playing. Mateta's doing something that no one even knows what's going on with him. So, I mean, hopefully for them and for Palace's sake, they come in and hit the ground running.
So you bought Brennan Johnson in pretty early on in the transfer window, I think like around the 1st or 2nd of January. What do you think of him so far, of the deal that you got?
Time will tell, because I mean, we're not in a great patch at the moment, like for the club. From what we've seen of him already, he hasn't done the business as yet. You can definitely tell there's a player in there that is going to come in and once he gets up to speed to how Gladson wants to play for the rest of the season, he's going to do really well in that position. Whether or not it's maybe on the left because Sarr's now back and he'd be playing on the right, I don't know. Or even I've heard talks of playing maybe in the middle. So we'll see like how that works off. I mean, £35 million for 24-year-old. It's good money for players nowadays. For any good player in the Premier League nowadays. Tottenham's top scorer last year that came from Nottingham Forest for £47 million 2 years ago. Time will tell on him, I think, and hopefully he starts firing on all cylinders for us.
Yeah, I mean, any Spurs player that gets out of Spurs is probably a happy Spurs player. Look, yeah, I think you do need forwards. It's got a lot of thought around the depth of the team going into the conference and hoping that you're going to stick around in the conference and get through that playoff. And you're doing yourself no harm by bringing in someone like Brennan Johnson, because he's played in the conference and he's played in the European competitions. I think the concern was obviously with Mateta and him sort of, certainly the games that I've watched, he doesn't look like the player that you want him to be at the moment. So it's difficult, I think, for the other forwards to sort of really sort of like shine when your main striker is off the pace and his mindset isn't in a good place. Time will tell whether or not he's good, but I think at the moment for what you need, so yeah. Strand Larsen as well has gone to Palace, sort of a last minute deal. Teta was meant to go to AC Milan, but his medical sort of fell through. However, you'd already sort of committed to Strand Larsen. And I think an absolutely great signing, great striker. Looking forward to watching a Palace game with him playing. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it's strange the fact that Palace have broke the record twice in the transfer window, but to spend this much money on a striker is just, wow, it's unbelievable money Palace-wise. I'm just still shocked that we've spent that much money on a player in general, like, let alone, Brennan Johnson was like £35 million. Now we're spending £43 million with potential of £5 million of add-ons. That's crazy money for a team like Palace. He got 14 goals last season in the Premier League for Wolves, and I'm hoping he carries that form over, because we need to have someone in firing in the back of the net and being like in the 6-yard box just to put away chances that Sarr, Munoz or Pino and are going to bring and put into the box, or Johnson might put into the box for him. So we need that person in the box. And Mateta in general, Palace knew that he was going to fail on the medical call. That's why we left it to the last minute to just try and hopefully they would push it through quickly, because it's the end of the transfer window. Even though we've known for the last 3 months that his knee's dodgy and he's been able to enter injections into it every game just to actually play. I think like we were just hoping they would skip a step of the medical at that point just to take him, and maybe he gets reintroduced and integrated into the team, I don't know, after all of it, or now he sits on the sidelines for the rest of the season after surgery and then misses his chance of getting into the World Cup for France, which, the way he's acted, good, to be honest. Glad he's going to miss the chance to play in the World Cup after the way he's acted for us. As much as he has done really well for Palace, like the way it's been the last month or so, his attitude is stunk. So we're bringing in a striker to replace him, and hopefully he knows how to hit the back of the net, because Mateta clearly can't.
Wow.
What do you think of that one, Simon? You wasn't expecting that, was you?
Strand Larsen is a great footballer, right? You've got quite a lot of Scandinavian forwards going about at the moment. You've got Strand Larsen, you've got Haaland, you've got Isak, you've got Gyökeres. There's a lot of strikers that are Scandinavian at the moment in the Premier
Yeah.
League, and Strand Larsen I think he's going to be a brilliant player. If I'm Oliver Glasner, I'm swapping my whole formation. I'm playing 4-4-2 and trying to get corners because Mateta and Strand Larsen up front would scare defences.
As great as that would be good for us, but I don't think he's going to play. I think
He's
he's
not.
going to be in the mood and then going to
Yeah,
be on the injury table.
no, I don't think that's going to
So
happen. But I'm just Mateta and Strand Larsen up front with their height
the
and the
fault of
fact,
it, yeah.
yeah, getting Pino and Brennan Johnson trying to win corners, and then you just whipping in corners, and there's just like Strand Larsen and Mateta in the box. Tall players are very, 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 very handy in the Premier League, and that's not all Strand Larsen's got going for him, but he's got such a benefit. And yeah, I think it's a great deal. The problem is that there's so much judgment about what warrants a price tag nowadays that it's just a subjective opinion. But at the end of the day, the factual information is that what Wolves done was exactly what you done with Elise and Eze. Okay, their contracts were running out. You said to them, look what Crystal Palace have done for you as a football club. You're not going to stay here for 5 years, but please sign these deals so that we can get some money for you when you do go. And that's exactly what Wolves done last year. So that when he did move on to any football club, it was going to be for a relatively high figure because you've got to buy out a 4.5, 5 year contract. And then on top of that, there's a transfer fee, right? So that was always going to be a high figure for Strand Larsen, regardless of what football club he went to. And I look at him now as going, he's not in a relegation battle. I know Palace are there, they're close, but he's probably coming and going 2 or 3 wins, getting to that 37 point mark. We're definitely not going down. I'm in the Premier League for another season, and that's probably like he's sort of like motivation. He gets to play in the Conference League, he's playing the European tournament. He didn't have that at Wolves, did he? Hopefully he'll play with a lot more freedom at Palace. You have obviously got 2 forwards that have come to you. Your whole lineup is likely going to change. Obviously, you've got Brennan Johnson that's already been kind of integrated, but he's not been fully integrated. I think it's a great signing. The fear is obviously that you've got Eddie and Nketiah on the injury table. You've got Mateta, who we don't know his mind frame at the moment, right? But there's been a lot of occasions where footballers have not got the deal they wanted, or not happen, and they come back and they play really well. That has happened before. So there's 2 ways that Mateta could go. Mateta could go down the route of that he doesn't perform very well over the next 3 or 4 months, where he comes back and he's got a sprite,
which he hasn't been anyway.
I want to be playing and stuff like that. But if he gets injured, and I know you said he's already injured, but if he's out for a long time, and I can't see Palace doing this, but Palace sign off like a surgery or something like that, and they say, yeah, we're happy for him to have surgery. If Strand Larsen gets injured, you've got no money.
Yeah.
That is a big problem. And everyone will be talking about, all this money and Strand Larsen's got injured. Let's not say he's going to get injured, but if he does get injured, it's just that's when it's like, well, we might not have nobody to go to. So I hope Mateta comes back and knuckles down and goes, I really want to go and win the Conference League, for example, or I really want to go and do this, or really want to prove this. And he has that mindset.
Well, he needs to. That's the thing. He needs to come back and do that if he wants to play in the World Cup. This is the whole thing. Like, if he wants to go to the World Cup, he needs to start knocking him down now, because he's not going to another team till at least the summer now. If he doesn't want to go to the World Cup, fair enough, have the surgery, sit in your arse, and then you sit in your arse all summer, because that's your problem, sort of thing. But you're missing out a chance, probably your only chance of going to the World Cup. It's 28. It's not coming, fast. I know the French team with Giroud and everyone, and like Benzema, they're all like an older striker. But I can't see that being with Mateta, personally.
No, I think
he's only just got into the team.
Yeah, but I think Strand Larsen's got a lot of hunger in him. If you can get deliveries to him, I feel like he's gonna. I really hope he hits the ground running for you.
He said his favourite goal was a tap in, so happy days. That's exactly what we want. Tap it into the back of the net, keep doing it.
Yeah, and that's what you need, because when you played Forest the other day, you kind of needed that red card, really. You're struggling to find goals, so when you do concede, it's like you don't have enough confidence that you're going to go and score a goal.
I mean, from the red card, it was going in the back of the net anyway. But it's just the rest of the game, we didn't take a second half to do much at all. Bringing him in, hopefully he brings that kind of hunger in front of goal. It's going to be like, okay, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm going to do. Bang, 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 goal. And I think also, move on to our other signing, Evann Guessand, on loan from Aston Villa. I mean, I think personally it's a brilliant signing, but he was after him all summer, and it's finally came in January on loan via another Premier League club. From what I gathered, from all the talk I heard in the summer, it was all done and dusted then. It was just we couldn't agree a fee, and then Villa popped up and paid more and paid the money they wanted. He's quite hungry to go and play in the conference, do well. Like both him and Strand Larsen, both their interviews came in and said, we're here to win the title. And that's so refreshing to hear, because at the moment, from our chances in the conference so far, it does seem like we're taking it extremely lightly.
There'll be people listening to that going, what are you talking about? You're not going to go and win it. But it's not about what other people think. It's the belief that you have as a footballer.
The belief, yeah.
You've got to have that as a fan. You've got to have that as a fan. You've got to believe that you can go and do something. And until you can't, then you do start thinking to yourself, actually it's not possible. But it was nice to believe that we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
What happened with Dwight McNeil? Because I don't know too much about this, but he was on his way to you, from what I understand.
It seemed very like that. It seemed extremely like that from what I read, that his girlfriend's come out and said on Instagram or whatever it was. I saw the screenshots. They was in London. They had the deal done. They was promised this, promised that, and then in the last minute, and then this is now going to from what Everton's saying, they didn't hear back from Palace quick enough. Which, I mean, it's not like we got form on that regarding the whole situation about the emails about Leon and Palace situation, because Palace didn't hear about that either, apparently. So it's not like we got form of reading our emails correctly. So that's probably where it was. But I feel sorry for the guy, because obviously you don't want people believing, let's do a fresh start. It seems like he needs a fresh start from Everton. It seems like he really wanted to make this move happen. But in my mind, it happens all the time in football, where deals get pulled at the last minute. And it seems like the media's catching on to this one, especially more than the hundreds that happen every season. It's a bit strange. It seems a bit like a bit of a witch hunt. Just to add to, because Palace at the moment are every week in the news for something else, because of, like, not so much now, but the last couple of months, because of outbursts and everything that's been happening. And then this one, they've just cotton onto it. Oh, another about Palace just to let's write about and talk about. I was expecting a central midfielder, I must admit. So we are getting overrun in the middle of the park, and we've only really got Will Hughes, Jefferson Lerma, and Adam Wharton in the middle of the park. Yeah, okay, we play two in the middle, but if, say, obviously Wharton missed the Forest game because of suspension, if one of them gets injured, then we're down to one, and we've got no one else in the middle of the park, because Kamada, we're still not sure when he's back. And I've said this multiple times before on a couple of videos, we're still waiting on Kamada to get back in the middle of the park, because we're missing creativity. So I'm surprised we didn't bring in another creative midfielder, because without Kamada there, that's where our form's really dipped, to be honest. And that's a massive reason why we haven't done as well we have lately. So I think also, we're talking about, obviously, in the summer, if everyone stays fit, defensive, central defenders wise, up until the summer now, obviously Glasner's going, whoever we bring in might not play five at the back. As much as I think, as a club, Palace need to go for a manager that likes that formation, because we've already had the ready-made team for that formation. They don't have to change much. Manager might not want to, and he might only play four at the backs, and then we wouldn't have to replace Gagey if everyone else has done well up until the end of the season, because we've already got four defenders. If you go four at the back, you only need two central defenders. That means you've got two spare, which is great. Exactly what you want. So we'll see who we bring in the summer, and have to work around that. If we do go for a manager that wants to play five at back, fair enough. Get another central defender in, just to have that extra cover, and have it as a youngster, have it as a 21-year-old, played say 100 games for a club somewhere else, so he's already had experience playing, just to put him straight into the side sort of thing, slot him straight in. But we'll see. It's a big summer either way for Palace. We all know by the summer comes that all the talk's going to be about Adam Wharton. We already know that. I think that's a guaranteed. All the talk's going to be about Adam Wharton and whoever decides to pull the plug on the most money. And as a Palace fan, I really hope that's not the case.
Traveling north. We'll hijack it all that money from the Champions League.
North. That North. Oh, well, after you get your quad, You think he's going to decide to go to Arsenal? No one decides to go to Arsenal nowadays. You play murder ball under Arteta.